We know that the ocean is full of mysteries and undiscovered secrets, and that's what fascinates us the most. But would you still risk it if you knew that a 60-foot mega shark could be lurking right underneath you? It is a creature that nightmares are made of, something that can swallow multiple humans at a time, gulp down a whole whale, and crush anything in its way. We are talking about the most dangerous shark that ruled the waters back in its days, the Megalodon. Known as one of the most feared sea creatures of ancient times, let's start with knowing exactly what makes a sea animal an animal of your nightmares. These creatures started at an average length of nearly 50 foot and had a very similar build to the great white sharks we know today. But their build was more robust, with thicker fins, bigger jaws, and small pig-like eyes to give a false, innocent look to this killer predator. If we believe proof of how they looked, you can see that they have greatly affected the marine life of today. Their teeth were very similar to those of modern white sharks in that they are triangular, serrated, and symmetrical. The difference is that they are larger and thicker. The serrations on each tooth occur in regular intervals, and they possess a borlat, a darker chevron-shaped region near the tooth's root. How big were they exactly? We'll never know because scientists have never found an actual full-body size fossil of this creature. The size and everything else they have estimated has come from the discovery of their fossil teeth and vertebrae. With a body length of nearly 50 to 60 foot, the Megalodon was able to swim tremendously fast at nearly 11 miles per hour. That's an impressive feat, especially since a mature male Megalodon weighed a whopping 66,000 pounds and a female one weighed even more at an astonishing 143,000 pounds. Its massive weight may have something to do with the climatic factors of that period and the substantial amount of prey available during the time. This brings us back to the history of the Megalodon. Megalodon fossils have been found dating from the early Miocene era, which was 23 million years ago, to the end of the Pliocene era, which was about 2.58 million years ago. After the Pliocene era, there were no more fossils discovered of this sea monster, and so they were declared extinct after this period. But in their time of existence, the Megalodon was said to dominate the ocean. They were the largest predators around and took home most of the prey in the ocean. A study showed that these giants consumed nearly 2,500 pounds of food per day. Their diet included some of the largest fish in the ocean, such as whales, dolphins, and other large fishes available during that era. Scientists also speculate that the massive weight may be the result of cannibalism, so there is a chance that the Megalodon liked munching on their fellow Megalodons, who were probably dead or smaller than their hunter. This is very similar to the phenomena we see in modern times, where there is abundant proof that sharks like to eat their own kind. One of the main reasons the Megalodon was able to prey on such large animals was because of its jaws and 5 rows of piercing teeth that regrow themselves after every feeding frenzy. Their jaws span 8 by 11 feet wide, which was wide enough to swallow 2 adults whole. With 276 teeth underneath its jaws that were each over 7 inches long, it's no wonder these creatures were a menace to society. Studies have shown that a Megalodon is a type of shark that can shed its teeth every 2 weeks. Most of the time, their teeth were damaged while feeding or hunting. The Megalodon also had a bite force that would leave behind massive marks and sometimes a whole set of teeth on its prey. It's said that the Megalodon has a bite force of over 182,000 newtons. To put that into perspective, a great white shark has a bite force of about 18,000 newtons, which is roughly 10 times less. With such a deadly pair of jaws, we can see why it was regarded as the most dangerous sea predator of that time. But if it was that big of a predator, why did it go extinct? See, there is lots of evidence that the creature went extinct nearly 2 million years ago, but scientists have yet to find concrete evidence of what exactly drove the Megalodon to extinction. Many possible causes have been given throughout the years, and let's break down some of them. Let's start with the theory of the changing ecosystem. Marine animals went through a massive transition during the Miocene era, with over 20 species of whales taking their origin from that period. This caused a shift in the ecosystem, and by the end of the era, most of the smaller species of sea animals had gone extinct, and surviving ones were very fast and elusive. Scientists speculate that with the decline of smaller animals and the growth of larger predators that fought for the same food as the Megalodon, this caused an increase in competition. The shortage of prey may have been the reason why it went extinct. But when you give it some more thought, you'll see that this is very unlikely. Because the Megalodon was a super predator that could easily dominate whatever larger animals emerged at the time and could even make prey out of the larger predators, so the chances of the Megalodon starving to their extinction is very unlikely. While the first reason may sound far-fetched, this second reason seems a little more plausible. You see, During the Pliocene era, the Earth was witnessing some massive changes in its climate conditions. This era can also be described as an ice age. With glaciers popping up and the water freezing, it became difficult for a warm water creature like the Megalodon to survive in extreme climate conditions. This also negatively affected the ecosystem, killing many small warm water animals, which were initially prey for the Megalodon. It is said that the Megalodon may not have been able to retain a significant amount of metabolic heat, which drove it away from the cooler areas and into warmer waters, where the ecosystem for prey was small and restricted. Others say that it did not survive the dropping temperatures and simply went extinct. This is the most logical reason for their extinction, but later, scientists found fossils of the Megalodon in some of the coolest regions in the world. This showed that they may have been able to survive in cooler temperatures. That got us back to square one, and we still don't know the reason behind the Megalodon's extinction, if they were ever extinct to begin with. With many fake sightings, a lack of evidence for their extinction, and the release of movies like The Meg, many conspiracy theories have been going around that these sea monsters may have not been extinct at all. That's right, some people believe that the Megalodon is still alive, just hiding in the deepest parts of the ocean. When talking about mystery sea monsters, the Mariana Trench is always dragged into the argument. This is where conspiracy theorists believe that the Megalodon lives in the modern days. But what people fail to realize is that these movies and documentaries make for good fictional content. So we'll leave it up to you to decide what's real and what's not. Even the picture of the Megalodon we have created is just a figment of our imagination. It could look totally different for all we know. While it is true that there is no exact evidence of its extinction, it is also true that there is no proof that the Megalodon is still alive. Some conspiracy theorists put forward evidence like the report of the huge 9-foot great white shark eaten whole by an unknown predator. This incident was all over the news when a research team found a tracking device of a great white shark washed up on shore. When analyzing the data, they found that the ups and downs in the temperature of the shark and a sudden 1,900-foot drop in depth. So the only logical reason they came up with was that the shark was eaten whole by something bigger than him. The mystery sea monster that ate the shark was quickly labeled as the Megalodon without any evidence backing up the claims. Similarly, any such mystery death of sea animals is often labeled as a Megalodon attack. But here are some of the reasons why all of the above quote-unquote evidence might not be plausible. For one, we have established that the Megalodon's teeth are one of the primary pieces of evidence for their existence and are found all over the world to this day. But even when they are so easy to find, no fossils of recent times have been discovered. Any new fossil discovered always dates back to 2 million years ago when they were said to exist. If they still lived on after that period, surely at least one fossil would have been discovered in recent times. But guess what? There is none. All evidence of the Megalodon dates back to the Pliocene era, and after that, they vanished. Another popular argument is that the ocean is vast and unexplored. If a predator wanted to lurk around undetected, it probably could. With advanced technology and our thirst for discovery, we are always finding new creatures in the sea. Scientists have explored some of the deepest parts of the ocean, and yet, they found no evidence of the Megalodon or any other supposed sea monster. And if by chance the Megalodon was alive, we would know. How? Well, the Megalodon was a warm water creature who wouldn't fare well in cold waters. So if there was any place where they could be, it's the East Atlantic coastal plain and Florida. If they lived there, people would probably see them taking their evening snack on tour boats. Moreover, the ecosystem today cannot support an apex predator like that. A large percentage of the human population is dependent on seafood, so it's hard to imagine how anyone would miss a massive drop in the ecosystem if the Megalodon was still alive. If the Megalodon was alive today, just one of them alone would consume a huge chunk of the ocean's prey, causing a large imbalance in the ecosystem. It ate 2,500 pounds of fish daily. Calculate that with his life expectancy, and you'll see what we mean. All things aside, what are your beliefs about Megalodon? Would you like to see them alive, or do you prefer them gone? Let us know in the comments below. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, and consider subscribing to our channel if you loved it.